Alright, what is going on, you guys? It's currently like 10 o'clock at night. We just drove the Golf to Bay Street to get smoothies. It ran good, but it also died 5 times in total. But it's good that it kept dying, but obviously it turned back on. But I think I found the actual problem we're having. So I don't think it's the hall sensor. Whenever the car would die, I would pull over, and how I got it to start yesterday was I'd use my hammer and I tapped on all the electrical things to see what I could make work. But the last few times it kept dying, the only thing I would tap on is like the very top mono injection carburetor thing. Whatever the top little like intake thing is, I would only tap on that and the car would start right away. So the car would die and I would try and start the car again without tapping on that. It wouldn't start back up. But once I hit that a few times, it would turn back on. So I think that is the source of our problems. As you can see right now, we made it back home. The car is running and idling fine. Hasn't shut off again. It's been about 10 minutes. So it died a total of 5 times going there and coming back. And the very first time it died, it turned right back on, no issues. The second time I had a hit, I went and tapped on the distributor, the starter, the carburetor thing, and it turned back on, and then it died again, and I only tapped on the carburetor and it worked, and then it died again, and again, just a carburetor. So I'm assuming there's like 3 different like connectors and like little like modules or sensors on that. Oh, it just died. See? Just died. So I'm gonna try, actually, let's do it right now. Let's try this on. Let's see. Let's see. So I'm gonna try and just start it by itself. Car's dead. Just try and simply start it. Alright, so will not start. So let's just keep this going. Let me pop the hood, grab my camera or my hammer. Hold on, I'll put you guys right here for a second. I'll be right back. I'm gonna pop the hood. I'm only gonna tap on the carburetor thing. Give us a little tap, 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 tap. Okay, so we've got our taps in. Now, I believe the car should now start. It has been the entire time, so we've done our taps. See that? So, like I said, there's 3 different like sensors or like plugins on that little carburetor, whatever mono port injection thing, whatever that is. There's 3 of them there, so I'm assuming one of those is bad. I'm granted, I guess the car drove better today because I cleaned a lot of kind of stuff off and I've been hitting it, so I think I've jiggled something so it's going to work a little better. But I think that's the source of my problem, where it's shutting off and then not wanting to turn back on until I shake it around a little bit. But I think, like I said, it's good when this stuff happens sometimes and you can actually finally figure out the exact source of the problem. So I think the throttle sensor's up there, and there's also like 2 more that I don't know what they are. I'm sure you guys know. So we made some progress, but we made our first drive, or our second drive. We went all the way to base and came back. Car died 5 times, well 6 compared to that last one, but still, we made progress. So tomorrow, I'm gonna go to, well, the plan is eventually to replace everything in the motor, alternator, battery, distributor, just replace all of it. But I wanna start with the actual factor that's causing it to die and shut off. So tomorrow we'll go there again, and I think I'll start with whatever the throttle sensor and the other 2. I need to do some research to find it out, but progress. So I went to GK this morning hoping to get a new bottom portion of my distributor, to get a coil pack, to get a throttle sensor, and a few other things, just to try and go through and start replacing all the electronics on that car. Unfortunately, the only thing I was able to order was the coil pack, which will be here tomorrow morning. They can no longer, at least through them, they can no longer order the throttle sensor, the carburetor gasket piece, or any of those sensors like on top of the carburetor there. None of those can be ordered through them anymore. Not that I can't find them online, but just not through them. They could order me the distributor, but it came as the entire thing, like from the cap all the way down to the all the way to the bottom, everything included, which I only really needed the bottom, but they wanted €350 for the entire thing, which I didn't feel like spending. So at the current moment, we have nothing new for the car today. I can't go to the junkyard until tomorrow. So the plan is tomorrow, stop by GK, pick up my coil pack, and then go to the junkyard. Hopefully find another Mark III with a 1.8 in it, steel, just all the sensors and parts of that one, just to start trying different things in there and see what helps and what doesn't. And then today, I'm gonna try and pull the carburetor top piece off and kind of inspect. There's a gasket that's down there. I wanna make sure that's okay, and just kind of see how it works. After sitting overnight, the car always starts first try and runs no problem. How long it's on idle right now, I don't quite know. I'm gonna cut it off right now though, because I wanna be able to pull off the carburetor thing and not have it all hot. and like burn me. But after sitting overnight, the first startup's always no problem. A few people said it might be the coolant temp sensor or like the coil pack. Once it's getting hot and the engine runs for a while, that's why it's dying out. But yesterday we let the car idle for about 45 minutes and then drove it for another 30 or so. So the car was on and running for over an hour. So everything was up to temp and hot and had no issues. I didn't have any issues until later that night when the car had sat for a little while and then we tried to drive to base. That's when it started dying and coming back on. But as far as the car being warm and that causing an issue, I don't think that's the issue. So it looks like once I undo this little hose clamp there and take out 1, 2, 3, I think on this hose here, I think at that point this will lift up, and I'm not quite sure what's under that next. You can see where the fuel lines go in to this piece here, which has this connector on it, and there's this piece down here which goes to that connector, and there's this piece over here which has that connector, which I don't know what any of these are. I think this is the throttle sensor, I think. Maybe this one's the throttle sensor. No, I think this is the throttle sensor down here. I don't know, it's all new to me, so I'm trying to learn. So I'm gonna pull this apart and see. There's a gasket somewhere, I think it's right there. That might be bad. They said it leaks sometimes, that could cause issues. Okay, so what I just did, I turned the car on, I went through and I was unplugging sensors to see what would actually kill the car and what wouldn't. So, if the car is running and you unplug the coil pack, car dies. If I have the car is running and I unplug this sensor here, the car doesn't die, but it idles really weird, so that's not one that actually kills the car, I don't think. If the car is running and you unplug this one, the car dies immediately. If you unplug this one, the car gets a very, very high idle, but does not die. And if you unplug this one, the car also dies. So 1, 2, and 3 cause the car to die immediately, like how it normally does. And then this one and this one cause the car to just idle weird. So I don't think it's this one, and I don't think it's that one. I think it's either gonna be this one or a mixture of this one, and this one. So I'm gonna get a new one of these tomorrow. I'm gonna try and get, I guess, this whole piece made from the junkyard, or if I can find it online. And then I still want to get a bottom section of the distributor because obviously we can't swap that sensor out because mine's stupid. So I think we've kind of narrowing it down a little bit, just process of elimination. But like once you turn when the car is running and you pull this one off or this one off, the car won't die. It just idles very badly. But like I said, that one, this one, and this one, it dies immediately, exactly how it normally does. I'm gonna look around online real quick and see if I can't find the name of that one, because whatever that piece, whatever this one is right here, that's where the fuel goes into. So like I said, that's where I'm hitting on top of the carburetor or whatever that piece is that gets the car to turn back on immediately. So I'm thinking that's the main culprit. So coil pack will be swapped out. I gotta find a cheaper one of these and then one of those. And after those 3 are fixed or brand new, I think that'll hopefully fix our problem. We'll see, but I'm gonna do some research first and see what that actually is. All right, so after a little bit of research, trying to find this piece up here, I thought it was just like that flat disc piece, but it's the entire thing. So this sensor, once the top part's off, this whole piece and the throttle body plus this like mono port injection thing, it's all one unit, and some of them come with this sensor as well. But the throttle body and this injection thing, it's all like one big unit. And I found a few online, but they're like 150 euro and up. I haven't seen any cheaper than that yet. They're kind of hard to find. So I'm hoping this isn't the problem, or if I can find one from a junkyard and just pull off the car and see if it affects this one at all and see what happens. It's not too hard to pull off, and I'm gonna open this up and look inside it. I'm not sure what to look at, whether it's broken or not, but we'll give it a shot. But yeah, it's a whole giant unit. It's not just one little piece or one little connector that makes it up as this entire piece. But hopefully that's not actually our problem. I said new coil pack tomorrow. We'll see what that does for the car. But there's also a throttle body gasket in there that causes a lot of people problems, like auto problems. But as you guys have heard, this car has no idling issue at all. The car idles perfectly and there's no indication ever, and then it just dies. So I don't think there's any vacuum leaks, any gasket leaks. I think all that's good. Granted, I'll probably replace it anyways, but I don't think that's an issue. It's either gonna be this whole entire unit here, which I'm probably has to use it with this, or coil pack, or it's gonna be that. I also pulled this off when I was running, and again, it changed the idle, but the car didn't die. So I'm still thinking it's gonna be one of those 3 that are causing the actual issue. So now we're gonna go ahead and open this up. With this off, we can now see our throttle body / mono port injection thing. There's 2 hoses here that go to the back of this, but both good condition, no holes there. If we look down, let's see if I can brighten it up a little bit. If you look down, way down in there, you actually see where the flap is for the where it opens up for the throttle body. And then this sensor here, the one that I pull off and it dies, goes up to this thing. I'm not sure quite what all this is. You can see where the fuel lines come in, and then on that side. So it looks like you'd have to pull off. There's like 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the whole thing would pop out. It looks like a very, very easy swap. It's just getting a new one. That'll be the first process. And then the gasket is below this whole entire thing at the very bottom. You can kind of see there's one of the bolts down there. It's like a triangle looking piece. So I don't know. It's kind of like it wiggles a little bit. So I don't know if the gasket's bad. Like there's no leaking like that. The car doesn't have a bad idle. But I do want to try and get a new one of these. It should be hard to find one that's not really, really expensive. So we'll see. Interesting though. Much, much different than my 2.0. Looking at this now, it does look like you could, right there where the plastic is, looks like you could actually pop this connector actually out of this, the actual metal piece here, and pull the lines out from there and then screw and pull just this out. So it looks like you could actually swap just this section, but again, it's finding just that section. I'm gonna look and see, because I don't know if I need the entire thing. I know the sensor's probably bad, maybe, I don't know. It could even be this one over here, but this one doesn't cause it to die. This one just causes the idle weird. So I'm leaning more towards this one, but obviously we need the entire thing. But it does look like you could possibly pop this connector. Actually, yeah, you probably could. You probably could pop this out, pull the wires out of there, unscrew this one here, and pull the whole thing out and swap just that bit. But I don't know how hard it's gonna be to try and find just that piece. All the ones I saw online so far were the entire thing. I didn't see anywhere it was just that. The car though hasn't had any issues today. I've turned it off and on about 15 times, like back to back to back, pulling plugs off. Never once had an issue starting, never once shut off, besides me actually pulling a connector off somewhere. It's just so weird. It's still such a hit or miss kind of thing. Like I said, yesterday it ran for over an hour, beat the crap out of the car, had 0 issues, and it sat for like 2 hours, and then it died 5 times the way to the base and back. I mean, you guys saw once I tapped on it, it would go. I don't know, it's so weird. It's such a weird, and it's so hard to find information on this engine online because not too people have it, and if they do, they're not on Instagram or making YouTube videos about it, so it's hard to find that information. So I'm doing my best to try and, if you have one of these engines and you're having some sort of problem with it, hopefully something I'm doing here is giving you some sort of help. I'm gonna try now. I'm gonna go ahead and put all this back together. I'm gonna try and clean off that connector right here again, and just clean out that top section a little bit, just get all the oil off it, whatever's there, and then turn the car on and see how long she'll idle for. And then if it continues to idle good again, we'll try and drive it and see if I can't get it to shut off, and just try and really narrow down what our issue might possibly be. I had seen a comment yesterday on yesterday's video where someone said the car shutting off might be the reason why it ended up in the junkyard, which it may very well be. It might not be, but it might very well be. But again, I never expected this car to be perfect. It's for a junkyard car that sat for I don't know how long and how cheap we got it. I expected to be some sort of problems. And again, I try to see this kind of stuff as a learning experience. Like my VR6 wouldn't start, and now Greg and I had to tear it down, rebuild another one. So now I know most things about VR6s. So like that, this is a new platform, we're learning, we're literally tearing half of it apart to figure out what's wrong with it. So if this helps somebody out learn what's wrong with theirs, or if I can learn all about this motor and how it works and how to continually keep it running, it's not that big a deal. Is it the most fun to have the car die on you while you're trying to drive around? No, but like I said, I try and view this as a learning experience where we're learning new things about a new platform and just seeing what makes it tick and what caused it to not run. So, is what it is. It comes with the Volkswagen, comes with any car really. Nothing is perfect, nothing runs forever. So if I can learn how to fix it, that way I don't have to worry about it breaking anymore, that would be very, very nice. All back together. The time is currently at 14. Let's go ahead and start the car and see how long she runs. Not gonna rev it, not gonna do nothing, just put it all back together and see what happens. All right, I heard the car die. Exactly 21 minutes later and the car is dead. I'm gonna try and start it right back up, see what happens. See if it starts or not. So right back up that time, up and off. This is new, let's try it again. Off and on. Alright, so now I just want to start. So let me try this. This is smacking her. Move this around a little bit. Alright. Let's see if that does anything for our car here. Alright, right back on. And was it gonna die or no? Sounds good now. So like I said, I'm almost positive it has to be that entire throttle body thing. So we're gonna try and find a new one of those. But new coil pack tomorrow. May not help or it's not a problem at all, I don't know. But I'm putting new in it anyways. But I think that's our main objective, that thing in there. Now before anyone says just swap the car, get rid of that 1.8 and swap the car. If you're buying and you want to send me the motor, trans, ECU, wiring harness, all that good stuff, and you send it to my house, I'll put whatever motor you want me to put in that car, but you're paying for it. But I'm not going to pull the motor out of the car because it's giving me some trouble. We're going to stick this out, we're going to figure it out and see what the problem is. Maybe later on we'll swap it, but right now I'm determined. I want to see what's wrong with this thing and I want to figure it out. Okay, this is where we're at. I've also put on a hoodie. It's starting to get cooler here, moving toward like winter time, so I'm excited to see how actually cold it gets. Hopefully it snows, it'll be pretty fun. But in terms of the car, I've looked and looked and looked. I can't seem to find that one connector on the throttle single point injection thing by itself as a whole entire unit. The cheapest one I found so far was from some parts company in the UK for like 125 euro, which isn't terrible, and that one actually comes with the whole single point injection, the throttle body sensor, the other sensor, all three sensors that are on there, this one comes with for 125 bucks, so it's not that bad. I hope I can find one locally, like maybe at the Junkyard tomorrow, we'll see. But aside from that, I don't know. I'm hoping tomorrow we make some good progress because tomorrow I'll have the coil pack and then go to the Junkyard and try to find some parts and then see what we can do. The car still starts right now. It'll run for anywhere between, I don't know, 10 and an hour. It's very, very random at this point. The idle's perfect. It's just hard to, I don't know. Right now, let's see if it'll start. It's been off for about an hour right now. Right on with no issue. I don't know, it's so hit or miss with this thing. I'm pretty sure it's that single point injection, but it may very well not be. I did find a video on how the thing actually works and how it like fires and stuff. It looks pretty cool. I would prefer actual fuel rail and multiple injectors, but that's what we got. So we got to make it work, we got to figure it out. So come tomorrow, new coil pack, and hopefully some more new parts engine. And if we can't make it work, I'm sorry this video wasn't very exciting. It's just me looking at engine for a long time or a motor. But I'm trying my best to learn about this thing and to see what makes it tick and hopefully figure it out. So very, very soon, this thing should be good to go. I also wanted to go this week to Sembach and get my temporary plate for the car, but since the car is not running consistently yet, I'm not going to go get a plate for the car because then it gives me only 30 days until I have to actually get it inspected and registered and all that kind of fun stuff. So we're going to wait till the car is running properly before we go get our temporary plate, but hopefully within this week it should be running 100% good to go. And then also just waiting to hear back from Steve for the coilovers so the car can be low. So running good, low, all this week hopefully. We'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget, be thankful for today. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.